Hello and welcome to another Franchise Hockey Manager stream. My name is Adam. I'm the community manager of Franchise Hockey. With me, as always, and digitally pictured on your screen, kind of, is FHM producer Jeff. Say hi, Jeff.
Hey, everybody.
And we are back with California Dreaming, the 1968-69 Oakland Seals, Part 5, Strong Foundations Equals Successful Future. Jeff, we're continuing to kind of rock it up uh, the West Division,
Yeah,
which
well,
is our
no,
new teams.
forget the West Division. Look at the league standings. We're number one, improbably. We are ahead of all the original six teams, although that probably has something to do with the incredibly unbalanced schedule where we get to beat up on the other expansion teams over and over again. So I do not like our chances in the playoffs. Uh, should mention that, yeah, well, if you didn't see it, there's a update out for FHM 11, the first content update, or well, it's an update. It's not really a full content update, but it does add the current rosters, or at least the somewhat current rosters. They're about a week old for the NHL now. I think I mentioned last time some ran into a few problems with it over the previous weekend, which delayed things a bit, but everything is in and up and running now. And if you may have been on Steam today, if you haven't bought the game yet, the Steam what's this one called, Adam?
I think it's the Black Friday sale.
Is it the Black Friday sale or the fall sale? Was there a fall sale
I,
already?
I
Can't
thought it was
remember.
just called Steam Autumn Sale.
Steam
Okay.
Autumn sale. Okay, well, 10% off for the next week or so. I think is it a week long
Yep, sounds
sale
right.
or is it just over the weekend? Might be just over
No,
the weekend.
okay. Just make me click things. I think it's till December 4th.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
December
okay.
4th. So
So
1 week,
yeah,
exactly 1 week.
so you got a week to pick it up on a discount, and then normally we'd Adam would be streaming this week, but I'm going to be away next Wednesday, so I'm doubling up here, and then we'll go to him next time around, and probably move this along because I want to try and get through this whole season this week. And of course, I do that, and we get annihilated by the Bruins, 8-2. So that gives you an idea of how we stack up competitively against the real teams. Did Swab make a couple of changes? Nick Labette, who'd been slipping a little bit, is out. Willie O'Ree is in. I'm leaving Wayne Cashman on the top line. He's been super red hot since he came on. 15 points in 10 games. So we are going to leave him there for now. Going to put Stevenson the backup in against the Rangers. He hasn't been playing as well as he did last year, so he's on the verge of being sent down, but we'll give him a couple more tries. And he does okay. 3-2 loss, but I don't know, he outshot them. Not so good. And good news, Serge Savard, who's missed all of the season so far with a torn ribcage muscle, is just about back. We got a couple other injuries. Bill Goldsworthy is nearly back, and Barclay Plager as well. Penguins up next, back to playing the expansion teams, and we are on a bit of a losing streak here. 5-2 loss to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh seems to be the one expansion team that tends to give us a lot of trouble. And, well, Stevenson was a flyer in real life, so I'll put him in against Philadelphia. I really don't want to lose 4 in a row here, though. Doesn't matter what I want, because we just lost our 4th in a row.
Ouch. That's not good.
Okay, and the end of season or end of year player polls. Any of our guys make the list? Nope, nothing too surprising. Toughest goalie to beat, Gump Worsley of Pittsburgh. He's not having a great year, but a little surprised to see him up there. The other one's best skater, hardest shot, or. And let's see. Okay, Savard is finally back. And what are our lines? Vadnais and Picard on the top line. And Plager and Rupp on the second line. So what I'll do is put Savard into that Plager spot and Plager into Rupp spot. So he'll wind up switching sides. Kim is chilling, asking about Jacques Lemaire. Actually, surprisingly well. He's a little ahead of where he was in real life. He came into the league in real life as a older rookie in '67, and I don't think he won Rookie of the Year, but you see, he had a pretty good season. And then he's actually last year he was for us he was closer to his second year pace, and he's doing well again, playing on our top line with Cashman at the moment, and I think that Danny Grant. Yeah, Danny Grant. That'll change when Goldsworthy gets back. Development report, again, looking pretty good. And René Robert, we made a nice trade for that we got. Jacques Plante, we had signed him last season, but he sat out most of the whole season, didn't want to play. So when he finally came back in August, we traded him to the Leafs for René Robert, who's just a prospect at this point, and it looks like Plante hasn't even. No, he didn't make the Leafs. Where'd he wind up? He's gone from them.
Oh, interesting. Kim shows that I haven't seen him play before. Yeah, well, you'd have to be pretty old to see Jacques Lemaire play.
I saw Jacques Lemaire play. Got yourself there.
Awkward.
Yeah. Just that last playoff with Montreal before he retired, well, semi-retired, and went to Switzerland. Oh, it looks like he retired on them in mid-year, looks like. So apparently he didn't want to play, and we get René Robert for nothing. And speaking of the Leafs, we got them next. And there we go. Back to form with Savard in the lineup. And looks like two of our guys won AHL Player of the Month awards. Cliff Schmatz and Lyle Carter, the goalie. And mid-season award contenders. Oh, we got a couple. Doug Favell, our goalie, is up for Vezina, which seems fair. He's having a great year. And Carol Vadnais, which seems justifiable, is a potential Norris Trophy winner. But surprisingly, he's also mentioned Noel Picard, who's having a spectacular year for us. Never had one like that in real life. He's more of a defensive defenseman, but he's been playing on our top pair and putting up points. And surprisingly, Bobby Orr not mentioned at all. And we are a Jack Adams Award contender. Hang on, I just want to see what's up with Orr this year. Looks like he hasn't missed that many games, just not really having a huge year by Bobby Orr standards, but I'm sure he'll be back near the top by the end of the season. Another expansion team, and we win this one again against the Blues 4-1. And we got a couple of our injured guys just about to come back. Goldsworthy is day-to-day, and he's at 0 on his counter, so I'll activate him. Flager is going to be a little bit longer. And 5-3 win over the struggling Kings. Interesting. Dick Duff, who has been on the trading block for quite a while for Montreal, has been waived, and would be an upgrade on our players. So wouldn't be a bad pickup for us. I could send George Swarbrick down. That wouldn't be a big loss. I think I'm going to put in a claim, and we're going to have the lowest, or one of the lowest priority claims on this. Duff in real life, if I remember right, he had a drinking problem and was sort of inconsistent through the 70s, but he had a few good years left in him. Yep. No,
I mean, that's a reasonable claim for us.
Let's see if we get him. And Duff is claimed by the Penguins.
Darn. The Penguins aren't very good in this one, are they?
Well, we've been having trouble against them. And we're playing the Duffless Canadians, who, despite not having him, blow us out 7-3.
Which is not a surprise. They are a
Yeah.
very good team.
Henri Richard with a hat trick and assist against us. Going to throw Stevenson in against the Penguins. And we beat Duff's new team 5-3. Was he in the lineup? Yeah, wow. He was in the lineup, but 35 game rating. Not adjusting well, apparently. And Gordie Howe in the wings up next. Now, narrow 1-0 loss. We didn't have much offense at all. 17 shots on goal, so. And Roger Crozier the easy win. And how we go? Okay, Goldsworthy rather is back. So Cashman comes out of there. Goldsworthy goes in. But I want to leave Cashman in. I'm going to swap him with O'Ree. And he'll probably convert back to left wing. And where's Barclay Plager? He's just about back. Almost. 1 or 2 more days. And 6-3 loss to the Hawks. Stan Mikita with 4 assists. There you go. Warriors getting on track and gets a hat trick. Back against the Rangers. Be nice to get a win here. And we do. 6-3 win. Jacques Lemaire with 3 assists.
All right.
And the All-Star game rosters, I think we've got we're going. This is divisional now, so we had the previous year it was the former Cup champion, which was the Leafs then, against the rest of the league, and we didn't get anybody in the All-Star team this year because it's divisional. We have 7 guys on the All-Star team, so Favel, that name Picard, Lemaire, Dornhofer, Danny Grant, and Jean Pronovo. So we are nearly half the Western team.
Well, that's not really a surprise. I mean, we are really good.
Well, relatively. And it's a 6-2 win for us. And we got the All-Star break here, so Barclay Plager should be healthy by the time we finish this. Got to activate him. And we're still at the player limit, so that's fine. Plager's back. And we had a 5-2 win by the East. That's the expansion teams. Not that surprising. Favel's cooling off. Throw Stevenson in against the Canadians. And we somehow come up with a 6-3 win. Bad goaltending on their part. Ooh, Rangers looking to trade Canucks legend Orland Kurtenbach. Tempting. Since Swerbrick down, we got no use for him. And he's probably going to clear waivers, and I don't really care if we lose him anyhow. And Barclay Plager is back. So coming out will be Larry Hale, I think. And I'm going to keep put Savard and Schuberg on the second unit and keep the Plager brothers together on the bottom one because they have chemistry together.
Makes sense.
And we lose to Gordie Howe again, 3-1. And we did lose Warbrick. He gets picked up by the Stars, North Stars.
Again, not unsurprising.
And we've dropped out of first place in the league. Detroit is way out in front now, but still comfortably atop the West Division. And 1-1 tie against the Blues and former Canadian Olympic team goalie Seth Martin. And old man Johnny Bauer, 44 years old, signed a new contract with the Leafs. Another loss to the Bruins, predictable. And Don Cherry's brother Dick having a good game. What did he do? A hat trick as a defenseman. He's having a couple of good years here. And we do get a 2-1 win over the Leafs. Charlie Burns, a veteran who'd been with the Seals when they were still in the Western League. Getting a little money here. I'm going to bump the morale up a little bit more. And another easy win over the Kings. Owner should be happy. Yep, but he wants to win now, which I guess is understandable considering where we are, but okay, yeah, team harmony is great. Average attendance, we're on track for that. And I think we're okay on the other ones as well. I think we'll have that roster weakness at left wing cleared up by the end of the year. So we should have Grant and McDonald at 2.5 stars, and Cashman is pushing up there rapidly. And Penguins and the Hawks making a minor trade. Oh, there we go. So that's interesting. The Flyers had traded, Boston traded Ken Hodge to Philadelphia for Philadelphia's first rounder last year. And now they're sending him right back and giving up Boston's first rounder and Tommy Williams to get Hodge and Ted Taylor. I guess both teams want to undo that trade. It'll be good for the Bruins, probably. And we beat the Canadiens 6-3. Beating another Hodge, Charlie Hodge. Really surprised at our goal production this year. Just looking at this scoring, yeah, Goldsworthy's point a game despite missing all that time. Hadn't having a year. Charlie Burns, really a surprise. I wasn't even sure he wanted to keep him around, and he's third on the team in scoring, despite missing 5 games. Cashman has cooled off a little, but he's playing on the lower line now. And Card has calmed down a bit too.
Sorry, I had to step away there for a minute.
Yeah. In Toronto, back-to-back road games, and we do get a tie out of the Leafs. Val Fontaine, veteran, is waived by Montreal. No real interest in him. Interesting. Have a look at Fontaine's stat line from real life. Check the penalty minutes column.
You tell me, or you're looking at this?
Just have a look. See, he went wild in 1964 and took 3 minor penalties in the entire season. It's an all-time high.
My goodness. Yeah. That's a Lady Bing winner.
But yeah, 1, 2, 3, that's an NHL season. 4 seasons, in 4 NHL seasons with no penalties at all, and every other one with 6 minutes or fewer, and he winds up in St. Louis now. And we will put Stevenson in against the Bruins. Yeah, I'll get an easy win. Don't want to ruin Favel's confidence like that.
Did you see Kim Chill's last message here? Or do you want me to read it out loud?
Yeah, go ahead. No, I
Tim
was going to
Horton.
read it. Go ahead and read it.
All right, so Kim Chillin says, I saw Tim Horton playing against you. What happens with regression for players like him whose career ended for non-hockey reasons?
Really depends on the timing of it. If it's guys who, I mean, Torton was 43 when he died, I think. So he was at the end of his
Yeah,
career regardless. So it doesn't really affect him. I give him, he gets a normal career pattern. But what I usually do is, well, if you're playing with the annual recalculation mode on, it'll retire those guys automatically when they're at the after the last season they played in. But
yeah.
usually most guys who at the you know whose careers ended early for one reason or another, uh, I give them a low aging number, which tends to retire them pretty early. But other than that, they can go normally. So there is a chance they will have a much longer career. And I
Well,
got
Horton, if memory uh, comes, he retired and then came back to play, which is what ended up killing him.
yeah with the well that and
Sabres?
driving with a bunch of various things in his system.
Yes. No, oh, I know, but he was driving back home
Yeah,
because he was living in Ontario still.
and wow, we have to take a player from California. That is going to be unlikely, unfortunately. I don't think there are. There might be some. I highly doubt it, though. So we're
Hmm.
probably going to fail that owner goal. Barry Van Gerbig, our 29-year-old owner, being a little unrealistic. And the Penguins beat us again. Oh, there's a surprise.
Um,
Alex Delvecchio, longtime wing, at the age of 36, getting shipped to the Blues for Murray Oliver, who had a great year last year and has slowed down a little bit this year. Probably not a popular trade in Detroit. Yeah,
well,
Konstantinov should have. He was gets a fairly normal career curve. He won't go super long, but you'll get his good years out of him. And tied the Flyers 3-3. Stevenson was in for that one.
oh, I got a couple 17-year-olds from California.
Oh, nice. Names? Can't think of anybody who was.
Bill Green is the first one. Oh, that guy's from Honolulu. San Bernardino, Chris Aherns.
Oh, Chris Aarons. Yeah, I didn't realize he was born in San Bernardino. I'm wondering if his birthplace is missing in the database and it's giving him a random one, but either way, works for us.
And there's another one. Sorry, I'm just going through the list.
So they may not be actually accurate. Maybe it's just some Americans who don't have birth cities set up in the database that didn't import correctly, and
Bill Green is another one.
can't not sure who he is.
It says he's in high school. Don't have him as any career stats or real stats. 17 years old. Must be a U.S. Olympian.
Could be.
That'd be my guess off the top of my head.
And 5-3 went over the Blues. Rolling right along here, trying to get to the trading deadline.
Yeah, so Chris Ahern actually had, well, he's only 16, so.
Oh, here we go. Bobby Hull is not going to go to the WHA. He just signed a 6-year extension in Chicago.
Ooh.
Well, the WHA, which doesn't actually exist yet, but he's going to miss out on it now. And yet another win. We just keep rolling along. 4-1 over LA. And we got a couple of games here right before the deadline. Oh, Gary Dornhofer got hurt apparently. Sore elbow, so we'll throw Willie O'Ree in for one game into his spot. And lose that 1-2 onto the Stars. Howie Young, surprisingly, for a star. Okay, Dornhofer is back. Okay, and the Bruins didn't hang on to Ken Hodge long. They shipped him over to Pittsburgh for their first rounder. So uh, Bruins have probably managed to move up fairly high in the draft. They got rid of their own first rounder, and with a couple of throw-ins, effectively got Pittsburgh a much somewhat lower one, or higher, lower team in the standings, higher pick. Oops, Dornhofer's back. We can put him in. And we actually beat the Bruins 2-1. Nice.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
Okay, we got deals here. Wow, very busy trading deadline. Looking for some bigger ones. Most relatively small. Okay, so what we really need is defensemen. We're kind of getting to 2 and 3 star guys at forward, but lagging behind. We're still playing Schuberg and Plager. Bill Plager's 1 star. Oh, actually, Rupp's up to 2.5 stars. I should have him in the lineup, and Savard got himself hurt again somehow.
Of course.
But let's just see what's on the trading block defenseman wise. Not a whole lot, unfortunately. Some 1.5 star guys, but they're tending to be Alan Stanley, Marcel Pronovost, both eventual Hall of Famers, but they're right near the end of their career now. And Jacques Lemieux, Ralph McSwain, guys who never really went anywhere. Dale Rolfe. I remember him playing until at least the early 70s, so may be able to get him cheaply if I can throw in one of our forwards that we're not using. Chuck Hamilton's been on the been in the minors all year. What happens if I try that? Not quite enough. Throw in a defenseman. Does that do anything? I may want a little too much for him.
Well, we don't want to give up too much.
Yeah,
we already don't have a second round pick this year, right?
Yeah, I'm going to try O'Ree just because we're not really using him right now.
P-Wog says, Happy Turkey Eve, USA, go Wings. Also, how about them Detroit Lions? Detroit's good enough that they're going to disappoint badly in the Super Bowl. You just feel it.
I had a friend who's a big Lions fan. He's not going to like that. But he kind of expects it, I think. So they won't take O'Ree for Rolfe. Anybody I can shop around and try to get something for? Will I get anything for O'Ree? Okay, George Koenig, 1.5 star defenseman. Oh, there we go. Howie Young. Oh, sadly, he's down to 1 star, but a very tough defenseman, just not quite good enough for us now. Jean-Guy Talbot. Older, but yeah, I think I can do that with the Flyers. Send Willie O'Ree to Philadelphia and get another defenseman. That lets us get the 1 stars out of our
lineup.
Yeah.
Well, we weren't really using Willie O'Ree, were we?
No, he was just going in for injuries.
13th, 14th, yeah. P-Wog, you following us on Blue Sky? Hope so.
I'm going to read
As
that
I think we
line.
mentioned last week, I'll say it again. We are now on Blue Sky. It says franchise hockey on Blue Sky.
Sending Larry
Actually,
Hagel
seen.
down, and I'll bring up one extra forward. What are you going to say?
I actually seen you can change some of your tags at the end on Blue Sky.
What tags?
Like, ours is franchise hockey dot blue sky dot social.
Oh, yeah?
Like you can sign. Apparently, I saw. Was I think Jeff Grubb, who's on Giant Bomb, has changed his tag to I think it's just Grubb dot WTF. That's his domain.
Oh, and I sent Larry Hale down, but the Bruins have grabbed him.
Of course.
And Talbot needs a number. Wants 17. That's fine.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, I wanted to demote Danny Grant off the first line. I just don't think so. That's been working too well. I'm going to have Jack Button watch the AHL playoffs. Hale goes to the Bruins. Owner is happy with us.
Hooray!
Something wrong with our lines. What did I do?
I know there's.
Oh.
I feel like we should create a skin for the Seals where the bottom half of the screen is all white.
Like their
When
skates.
for when, yeah, for when Finley takes over.
Yeah. That should be green then. Well, green and gold.
Well, all
Or gold, yeah.
yes, but white skates. Badly painted white just on the bottom.
And 2-1 loss to the Flyers. Gordie Howe getting signs for another year in Detroit. He is now 40 years old, so got a good decade left in him.
Can't
Yeah,
even imagine that now. I mean, yeah, I know Yager's playing overseas, but it's not the same.
yeah, and he was a solid player that last year in the NHL.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
wasn't just they
he
were
got.
just throwing him out for easy minutes. He was good second
Well, he
liner.
was. No, he was playing limited minutes, but he wasn't happy about it. Boiled Egg says, "Is there a mod where instead of the rest signaling a goal in the 2D sim, it's a face gen of the player scoring?"
Uh, Probably not
There's.
something you could mod in, but could probably
It's
add
not a
it.
bad idea.
Yeah, yeah, it is an optional thing. Now to think about it, might be an idea.
Oh,
And there we go.
Boiled
Back
Egg,
on
I
track with
like
a
that.
3-1 win over the Flyers, and sort of closing in on the end of the season.
I've been waiting a while to say this. It's getting added to the list.
Speaking of the list, doing some stuff today, getting ready for our pre-Christmas content update. We just lost Wayne Rivers. Uh, 2 weeks of the mile shoulder strains, so Nick Labette gets back into the lineup, and it looks like Picard is briefly hurt, so Schubert can go in for him. Anyhow, I was just got the. I don't know. There's still a chance something could go wrong with the implementation, but all the data for adding the Central League to the Christmas update is done. So I think that's probably going to happen. So that'll be the old Central Hockey League, which not the sort of double A Central League that people might remember from was it 90s and maybe early 2000s. But the
Yeah, that sounds about right.
1963 to 1983 one, which was full-on AAA league with that had a lot of the top NHL affiliates. And there we go, 7-0 win over the Penguins. So finally we get one good win over them. But yeah, so that'll come in and that'll be a little bit. So you won't have those teams abstracted anymore, and will be playable. It's a fairly small league most of the time. I think they moved from. I think they hit a low of 4 teams and never more than 9.
But it was good hockey.
Yep. And as the name indicates, mostly in the central U.S., Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, eventually Salt Lake City went in there, and then from there moved on to the IHL. Actually, Salt Lake City came out of the Western League, went into the Central League, and then went on to the IHL, so they'll actually be in each of the first 3 leagues. We played next 3 leagues. We had playable leagues. We had historical. Rivers, and no, Burns is, well, Burns just has a cold he can play. What were you going to say?
No, I was going to say Salt Lake's basically will become playable for everything up until about a 20-year span when the IHL folds.
Yeah, that might
The
actually.
NHL return.
Yeah, that's. And I think the way I'm going to set it up, it was technically the same franchise in all 3 leagues. So you may be able to play if we can do it this way. You may be able to play Salt Lake City from wherever they start up. I think it's in the 50s in the Western League through the Central League years, then on to the International League years. And Burns' fitness is still okay, so keep him in. Stevenson gets a game against Detroit. And comes up with a win. And Phil Esposito gets a 2-year extension from Boston. Looks like he's missed some time due to injuries this year. So it's Hull and Makita that are leading the league in scoring.
I guess we should say, too, we are streaming earlier than we normally do.
Yeah.
Why? It's because Adam wants to watch the Jets play. Let's make it really simple. Winnipeg Jets are playing the LA Kings during our normal stream time.
And 4 games left to go in this one. And speaking of the Kings, we got them next.
Yeah, and Jeff was nice enough to switch time to make sure we could.
Game 1 against the Kings, yeah. Oh, there's good news for us. If it, he's only out for 4 days, or is Bobby Orr injured, but just a minor one, so it won't affect us at all if we meet the Bruins in the final. Charlie Burns is healthy again. Wayne Rivers still struggling to come back. Now, where are we? Okay, these are just nothing games at the end of the season because conceivably, if we met Chicago or in Toronto in the final, this home advantage could depend on where we finish in points. So these last couple of games could matter, but we're not finishing out of first place. So it looks like we will be getting either the Kings or the Stars in the first round, both of them we can beat.
Both of whom we expect to beat.
And how are we doing relative to the... Okay, we're 1 point up on the Hawks. And got our last game of the season against Minnesota. It was... Oh, okay, there looks like LA has gotten ahead of them by a point. Anybody? Okay, Rivers is back in, so... Labette swaps with him. Dornhofer has strained a thigh muscle, so I'll give Wayne Mackey his first NHL game. Oh, and I forgot to put Noel Picard back in when he got healthy again, so oops. And final game of the season against Minnesota, 4-2 win. So that should guarantee us, if the Red Wings get upset and we make the final, home advantage in the final. And I'll leave the budget as it is, I think.
Oh, sorry,
Okay.
P-Wog. You can just search us.
Oh, Dornhofer, well, not healthy yet. Let's see if he makes it in. Hart Trophy nominees, none of our guys. Vezina. And that looks like Favel slipped a little bit and didn't make it in. Vadnais is a nominee for the Norris, but you got to figure that's going to Orr again.
As it probably should.
And our rookie nominees. Wait, we had.
Actually, the better question here, Jeff.
Oh, right, yeah, we picked up Simon Nollet in the interleague draft and then lost one waivers for St. Louis, and now he's a Rookie of the Year nominee.
Of course.
Yeah.
I was going to say, the better question is, how's Orr's knees look?
We'll have a look in a second. Playoff preview. This is us. And see, we just added that, putting the record after the team name in the playoff preview. So the last time we met them, we blew them out 7-0. So hopefully we can keep going on that. Neither team with major injuries, although they're missing Carl Brewer, so that will help our offense a little bit. And Dornhofer's ready to go, so we are 100% healthy going into the playoffs. And this is a best of 7 series against Pittsburgh. A 4-2 win to kick it off. They do have a pretty good goalie in Rogie Vachon, so can't totally dismiss them. And we have to go to overtime to do it, but we also beat them in game 2. That was
Excellent.
3 minutes into overtime. Wait, did they drop down in the standings, or is this, am I misremembering the... Oh, right, it's, yeah, they do 1 versus 3, 2 versus 4 in the playoffs at this point. It's a weird system, but that's why we're playing the Penguins in the first round, but it doesn't seem to be hurting us any. And Charlie Burns had some teeth knocked out. Not great for him. He's down to 67% fitness too, so swap in Nick Labette at center for 1 game. Hopefully that doesn't hurt anything. No. 7-4 loss. Eddie Shack gets a hat trick for the Penguins. So the first game in Pittsburgh doesn't go well. And the media is critical of Wayne Rivers. Let's defend him, but say he could improve a little bit. How is our media relationship? Excellent. Yeah, the Seals aren't a particularly tough media environment, so you can get away with disagreeing with them once in a while. And Charlie Burns is healthy again, fortunately. Do I want to move anybody else? Don't think so. Okay, let's get back on track here. Get another win against the Penguins, this time in Pittsburgh, but we lose in overtime. The newly acquired Ken Hodge. A couple of points for Pittsburgh, and John Ferguson,
Thanks, P-Wog.
who retired before leaving Canadians in real life, and this one he wound up on the Penguins, so it's now down to a best-of-3 series, although we do have home advantage. At this time, Ron Buchanan with a forearm cramp. That's not enough to take him up. I will put Burns on the second line while he's slowed down by that. Need a win at home. Do not get one. 3-0 shutout by Rogie Vachon.
Well,
Teetering on the brink. And we just lost our best defenseman, Carol Vadnais, day-to-day abdominal soreness, but he can play, and he's going to have to.
yeah.
Haven't been able to beat Pittsburgh at home yet. Funny, we've actually got Lowell McDonald and Jean Pronovo, who were pretty good Penguins from the mid-70s on our third line. But come on, we should not be losing to these guys. Which apparently doesn't matter because we just lost to these guys. Upset in 6 games in the opening round. That's embarrassing. And Penguins and Flyers are tied 3-3 in their series. And looks like Toronto beat the Hawks. And the Wings, best team in the league, over Detroit. But then, Toronto bounces back and wins in the semifinal. So it'll be Toronto against.
Oh, man. So wait a second. You're saying we just handed Toronto another Stanley Cup?
Basically, Toronto against Pittsburgh.
Oh,
That's what the Leafs look like this
Jeff,
year.
what have you done?
You won't be able to talk about 1967 in this universe. Yeah, they got a pretty good lineup. Mike Walton's just kind of coming into his own.
Observer, I'm sorry I didn't see your message till now. Observer's watching us on Steam. He says, "Hey, well, the Blues fired their coach after all."
Yeah, not in time for.
Like, I told you. I laughed when that happened because I thought of our conversation.
So, pretty decent Leaf team, I think, against. Well, the Penguins aren't terrible. They look nothing like the real life Penguins did at this point. And they've got really good goaltending. Worsley and Vachon, 2 ex-Canadians. So they could steal something here.
Yeah, it's not happening.
And cutting back on some of the spending as we go into the off season. Hall of Fame nominees. And mostly older time guys. Sugar Jim Henry, just because I think that's a great name, and he's got that famous photo of him shaking hands with Maurice Richard, and they're both all bloody.
Oh, okay, that's who that is. It not as a sweet nickname. Let's be very honest.
And there you go, Adam. Just what you wanted.
Jeff, this is what happens when you've messed with the time continuum. So you're like, I need to stream.
Toronto Maple Leafs, 1969 Stanley Cup champions. Johnny Bauer gets one more cup, as does Bob Bond. Bob Bond actually wound up on the Seals in real life.
Yes. Although, didn't they trade him away in the first year?
Or did he wind up in Detroit eventually, I think? Can't remember.
Well, no, he was with the Seals, but I feel like they traded him away.
Can check that easily enough. Real stats. Yeah, I played the first year and then to Detroit, and then eventually back to the Leafs in the early 70s. He was only 36 when he retired. I thought he was older.
Well, I mean, he's one of those guys, when you look at a picture, you think he's like 42 in it, but he was probably actually only like 28.
Oh, yeah, everybody looked like that in the 60s and 70s, though.
I mean, that's why how it is all the time. Like, what they have on just saw the Seinfeld was like George was actually like 30 in that show. It's just like that doesn't look right.
Some little bit of good news. Schuberg makes it up to 1.5 stars, so he'll be playing regularly next year. Oh, did I get everybody? Oh, Talbot, who we traded for, and needs a renewal.
Now, again, at this time, you're not exactly losing the rights of guys.
Yeah, there's no real free agency, and Dwayne Rupp played well enough that he can have an extension. Everybody else is extended. Let me check the list of guys we might lose. There's Rupp. Yeah, it's all 1 stars. And Brian Hextall, I do want to keep him around because he did work out in real life. He's just a little slow developing here, apparently. And yeah, I'll take Cliff Schmantz again just for a little depth. His brother was a Canuck, so good enough reason.
If there ever was a reason.
And let me just take a look at our stats for the season. Yeah, Lemaire, fantastic second year. Gary Dornhofer coming along nicely too. We got him late last year. Vadnais, excellent season. Yeah, good. Well, Goldsworthy maybe could have gotten a little bit more scoring out of him maybe. But great secondary scoring. Picard definitely calmed down after that very fast start. And out of Savard, yeah, in half a season, pretty good numbers.
PWAG, I'll be on. PWAG says, "Check Michigan State as good at college hockey this year. My Michigan are a little bit farther back." I have not been following college quite as much, although the whole CHL NCAA stuff is going to make
Yeah.
things.
Speaking of which, we're trying to get that implemented for the Christmas update. So you start seeing CHL guys in the NCAA in the game.
Even though we still don't quite know how the rules are going to be.
I got a pretty good idea. They changed.
It's going to be more. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, so Stevenson didn't have a great second year, so gonna have to fight for the backup job next year. What were you going to say?
It's going to be interesting to see how badly the USHL gets hurt from all this.
USHL and the Canadian Junior A leagues.
HL. Coach of the HL and everyone transferred.
Oh, here we go. Interleague draft. Forgot we got to do this.
Well, it sounded like they said the OHL basically said, accept anyone who wants to come. I think the USHL would be interesting for like if a couple teams decide to join the W, but I don't know how that would work.
I honestly don't get how the USHL's economics work. Same with the North American League. The teams are so spread out.
Yeah.
For a junior league, that wouldn't work in Canada. I'm surprised they can get it to work in the States. But I guess they're
cheap flights, I guess.
Yeah, maybe.
There's enough running cheap flights that must make it worthwhile.
And we're just doing the interleague draft here. This is a thing that existed in up until the 70s, where it was replaced by the waiver draft. But it's an end of the season thing where every team has to protect 20 players, and then each team can draft off each other's roster. So it's a balancing thing. The better teams in the league can't really hoard players, or at least can't do it for any length of time. 3 more guys. Could conceivably lose Talbot, the guy we just acquired, but we'll see, and we may be able to get somebody better. Okay, interleague draft order. We are 11th, so we're not going to get anything very good.
PWAG, you missed what's happening with the NCAA and CHL.
Andre Lacroix leaving. WHA's all-time leading scorer, leaving Montreal for St. Louis. Dave Dryden back to Montreal. No. Wait, do they have... Montreal takes Dave Dryden. Do they have Ken at this point, too? I think so.
Wouldn't he be
Yeah.
with Boston still?
Nope. They got.
Okay.
He was out of Boston. He was drafted by Boston, but the Canadians had him signed by the starting time of this game, and so
Okay.
they've got potentially a all Dryden goaltending combination in the near future.
Interesting. Uh, PWOG, short answer is the NCAA has changed their mind and they are now allowing players who have played CHL games to go to the NCAA.
Okay, so
I don't know that it's just specifically
yeah,
CHL, I guess I should say,
yeah. Well,
because I think,
it's major junior, so
well, I didn't know if it included guys like overseas too.
I don't think I've ever really worried too much about those guys.
Yeah.
Okay,
So, yeah,
but
it's going to create a whole mess of hockey things.
we're here in the interleague draft, and we could pick somebody up, including Jets legend Joe Daly.
I mean, he was a SEAL in real life in the pre-NHL days.
Yeah, another good, decent WHA guy, Ken Block,
Do we need a
available.
goalie?
Uh, Stevenson didn't have a great year as the backup, and I think McCartan will be leaving, so I'm leaning towards Daly. Oh no, no,
Herman?
sorry, wrong Plager. I was going to say I thought that was Bob Plager, and we could get the got the full set of all three Plager brothers,
And
but
you
no,
realize our own guy?
yeah, it's our own guy. Which and you're allowed to
I
take
mean,
your own players in this if you just want to protect them and avoid losing them.
yeah.
But yeah, I think Daly makes the most sense here. Al Smith has higher potential, but Daly is better right now.
Yeah, bringing Daly back to California would make sense.
Well, he's never been to California in this universe.
Well, I mean, technically he has because he was there previous. He played for the Seals when they were in the WHL.
Oh, WHL. Okay, I thought you were talking about the
Yeah.
NHL. Okay.
No, no, no. He was a WHL goalie for the Seals.
Okay, award ceremony.
Let me just.
Bobby Orr winning the Hart, so that kind of tells us what's going to happen with the Norris, too, I think.
He
Mike
played for
Walt.
the San Francisco Seals in 65, 66.
Oh, there you go. And Simon Nolay, who we picked up in the interleague draft last year and then wound up losing on waivers, turns out to be the rookie of the year for the Blues. Or, not surprisingly, he gets the Norris. That's a very funny face, Jed Farrar, by the way. A little chubby.
Well, that
And
explains how he's staying healthy. He's eating lots.
Roger Crozier with the Vezina. And let's see, Rattel gets the Bing. Alex Delvecchio, who's now Blue, gets the Masterton.
Here you go, a little overtime and get to the draft.
No, I'm going to leave it for you. I'll leave that for you for next week.
You're going to leave one pick for me.
Yeah, well, it's first rounder. We get two guys on the All-Star, postseason All-Star team. So Vadnais and Picard both on the second team. So that is a career year for Noel Picard.
Hey, that's good.
I will just get us around to tomorrow. Or no, not tomorrow. It's July 1st I want to get to.
Tomorrow. Tomorrow. Tomorrow.
And Hall of Fame vote, who we got here? Not the greatest class.
Bill Quackenbush.
Yeah, I think so. And I'll vote for.
I mean, you should for the name Quackenbush, anyways. We need Quackenbush back.
Should get an update on that shortly.
Quackenbush.
Okay, so a few check marks this summer. A little better, so we can continue improving. Now, what's going on here? Various rumors. We got some contracts to extend from the staff. Rangers and Bruins making out Fred Stanfield out of Boston. Ends up with the Rangers. They get Bruins get Rod Sealing back. Pretty good deal for them. Okay, we failed that scout goal, but I think that was because this was. I think we've got that fixed now, but it was the game was started when it was still and the bug was still there, so that's not going to work. Oh, and we didn't. Apparently, we weren't good enough with the roster weakness at left wing. But we did make the owner goal for increasing attendance. So 1 for 3. I'll have a look in a second and see what that did to our job security. And we're in the off-season changeover here. Our job security is now, he's not happy with us.
Well, good. So I get to get fired next time. Awesome. In the next, oh, good. Whoa, that year is quite the thing.
What year?
Go back to that the job security page.
Oh yeah, why is it showing 2147? I think that's just because it doesn't have a definite date. The actual date is when the draft ends. So you do or you don't get a guy. Just remember to draft a Californian guy so you don't get fired.
Yeah, well, the good news, there's one guy, and we only have a first-round pick, so we're kind of screwed.
Oh, okay, that's bad.
Okay, Jeff, hold on. You have a job to do now. It's July 1st. Okay, we need to trade for a second-round pick, probably, or we got to find out who the guy or who was the guy I said. Hopefully, he's in the draft.
I will try to get your pick back right now. Who has the?
Okay, no. Check the draft list first. Let's make sure the guy's there. Western U.S. We had Bill Green and who was the other one? Chris Aherns.
Oh, I've got better news for you, Adam.
What?
We're no longer in the 2-round drafts.
Oh, thank goodness. But we still need to make sure that guy's in the draft.
You've got 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th picks.
Yeah, but if he gets drafted before we get him, we're still in trouble.
Yeah, so up to you. Where do you want to, or how late you want to leave that pick?
Well, it'll be the 3rd-round pick. But both these guys could go before. Well, Bill Green's a half-star guy. Okay, so Ahrens is a 1.5-star guy, but he's only 16. So would he even be in that draft?
Probably no, shouldn't be.
And the other guy is 17, so he'd be 18. He might not even be in that draft either.
Okay, let's just see what else went on at the end of this season. Barkley retired. Glenn Hall is retired. And Jacques Plante retired as well after the... Well, he was technically already retired, but gets his number retired by the Canadians.
Well, he's still got like 3 comebacks left in him.
Yeah.
In real life.
And he expects us to contend next year, so it's going to be a tough season.
I mean, we are still... Yeah.
And
couldn't have really screwed up and got us Marcel Dion, huh?
That's next year. Oh, no, that's this year.
Next year. Yeah.
Oh, that's Perot is next year, and then I think Dion is the year after that. Dion Fleur. Because next year the Canucks and Sabres come in. So we got an expansion draft to think about too.
That's
Okay.
future Adam's problem.
Yeah. And speaking of future Adam, I think I'm going to leave this here as it is for you for next week. And you can do what you will with it. You want me to leave the contract extensions? You can get those.
Yeah, sure. All
Yeah.
right. So,
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and wrap it up.
with that, thank you very much for tuning into another Franchise Hockey Manager stream. We typically stream Wednesday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/franchise hockey manager and twitch.tv/OOTP developments, although occasionally we will move it around depending on our schedules, but usually still on Wednesday nights. You can All of our streams are archived on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/OOTP developments, with stream archives going live usually now at about 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturdays. You can also reach out to us on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/franchise hockey manager. On Twitter, we're at franchise hockey. You can find us on Bluesky, which is franchise hockey. On Threads, we're at franchise hockey manager. You can find our official Discord in a variety of places. And of course, you can run down to our official website, which is ootpdevelopments.com. Click on the community button in the top right hand corner, which will bring you to official forums and come talk about Franchise Hockey Manager, Outlet Park Baseball, Perfect Team Go, or anything else you wish to discuss. And as Jeff mentioned earlier, Franchise Hockey Manager 11 is back on sale for 10% off for the autumn sale on Steam. And yeah, so if you haven't picked it up, there's no better time. And I'll be back next week continuing this game and seeing if I can undo Jeff's bad things of not getting fired.
Yeah. Just looking at the system rankings right now. Montreal has the number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 5 best prospects in the game. So yeah, they're going to be bouncing back, I think. They'll probably, if they get rid of Charlie Hodge, they'll have the Dryden brothers in goal next season, and they've done a pretty good job revamping their roster. I think they're ahead of where they were in real life, although they don't have the draft picks lined up like they really did. Oh, Dennis Hall wound up there. How did he get? Oh, that was a Worsley trade. Okay, that's how Worsley left Chicago. But I think I will leave it there for you, Adam. So good luck next week, and I will. Adam will see you guys next week, and I will see you in 2 weeks from now. Thanks for coming out, and we will see you then.